Old money, the world's richest families. There is only a handful of people who could be called old money these days, from the Waltons to the Kochs and the Hermes. They are dynasties that have accumulated wealth and power for centuries. Passed down to generations, these families have run the world by storm. Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk about the people whose wealth has stood the test of time, with their names trailblazing the industries of oil, food, clothing, and many others. These are people born into the old money lifestyle. So without further ado, let's get to know old money, the world's richest families. The Waltons. With a total net worth of $238 billion, the Walton family is considered the richest non-royal family in America, and possibly the whole world too. How did the family get that far? The Waltons' wealth predominantly comes from their foundation and ownership of the largest retail store chains in the world. If you're from the United States, you will have the Waltons to thank when you're gliding through the aisles at your local Walmart. The corporation started with Sam Walton in 1962 when he purchased from the Butler brothers one branch of the Ben Franklin stores, back when he was still an employee of JCPenney. In Walmart's early business history, Sam Walton had wanted to cater to the low and middle income class consumers at the time. Thus, he devised a business strategy wherein he would be the one selling products at their lowest prices in return for a higher volume purchase. Considering how Walmart had survived and marvelously expanded throughout the years, the strategy seemed to pay off quite well for Sam and the rest of his future Walton generations. Currently, the Waltons hold a stake of at least 50% of the company, rendering them the corporation's majority shareholder. Sam Walton's heirs, Alice, Rob, and Jim, have made it to the Forbes billionaire list of 2022, with each boasting at least $60 billion in total net worth. The siblings' combined wealth matches the richest people in America right now, from Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. With multinational operations for over 10,500 outlets and clubs in 24 different countries, their flagship business, Walmart, is known to be the heart and go-to store of many people across the world. With the Waltons making over $500 million annually, the family has already been set for life. The Mars. With the Mars family ranked as being one of the richest clans in America, old money is about to go the sweet route. Since 1988, the family has been consistently making it to the list of the world's richest, and they're quite notorious in high society as one of the most private billionaires in the world. The Mars family has the greatest hold on most, if not all, of the world's sweetest tooths. Their wealth comes from the sensation of people's taste buds, as they have made their fortune out of sweets like Snickers, Mars bars, Milky Way, Twix, M&Ms, and many more products found at your local candy store. The family's business began in 1911 when Frank C. Mars, a candy maker since he was 19 years old, founded Mars Candy Factory with his second wife, Ethel V. Mars. However, it wasn't until 1920 that the family hit the ground running with Maro Bar Company, which then later developed into what is now known today as Mars Incorporated. With a budding Chicago train system during that time, it wasn't long before their products eventually reached the hands of millions of Americans nationwide, and then worldwide. It wasn't long when the Milky Way recipe was eventually modified to accommodate European tastes, paving the way for larger expansions of the family business. In 1930, Forrest Mars Sr., son of Frank and his first wife Veronica Mars, opened the first Mars branch outside of the United States in Slough, United Kingdom. Frank Mars's grandchildren, Jacqueline and John Mars, both ranked 41st on the Forbes billionaire list, with each of them garnering a net worth of over $31.7 billion. Currently, the fourth generation of the Mars family and their children are now in charge of the business. It looks like their sweet fortune isn't going anywhere. The Kochs. For a little bit of controversy and talk about real power and political influence, the Koch family is one of the richest families in America who have their hands on precious oil. They currently run the second largest privately owned company in America, Koch Industries. Fred C. Koch, the company's namesake, established it in 1940 after creating a groundbreaking method for refining crude oil. After Fred passed away in 1967, his 4 sons each received a controlling stake in the family business. Charles Koch owes his enormous wealth to an oil company his father founded. These days, however, he is perhaps better known for his politics. He has been put in the hot seat of controversy for allegations of using his deep pockets to support conservative politicians, fund university professorships, and lobby for policy positions that benefit his financial interests. The Hermes. Arguably, fashion is a wealth indicator, and even more so when one of the biggest high-fashion brands, Hermes, is an old money family business. The Hermes family is considered one of the biggest royalties in the fashion industry. With a net worth of over $122 billion, fashion is indeed a luxury. Hermes is a French luxury fashion brand that has constantly been regarded as the world's most valuable luxury brand in several valuations and ranking assessments. With the brand's reputation, it can be quite shocking that it started as a harness workshop in Paris, founded by Thierry Hermes in 1837. Initially, he intended to supply saddles, bridles, and other leather riding gear to European noblemen. But little did he know that Hermes was meant for more. It wasn't until when Thierry's son, Émile Hermes, transferred the company's shop to 24 Rue du Faubourg, Saint-Honoré in Paris in the early 20th century that it began to earn its well-regarded reputation. The store still stands to this day and serves as the company's global headquarters. Currently, the Hermes family still owns a portion of the brand, but the Dumois family now owns the majority of it. However, that doesn't stop the former from being one of the wealthiest families there is today. The Ambanis. Now, talk about Asian representation. We have the Ambani family, worth over $94 billion, the world's real-life crazy rich Asians. Reliance Industries, an Indian industrial group, is maybe the least well-known to typical readers. Nonetheless, Mukesh Ambani, whose late father created the firm in 1957, is ranked 10th on the Forbes list of billionaires. The company serves different industries, and Mukesh handled its business in oil, refining, gas, petrochemicals, and textiles. Meanwhile, his brother Anil handled their operations in asset management, power production, telecommunications, and entertainment. The Rajlal Arakand Ambani, better known as Dhirubhai Ambani, is the patriarch of the Ambani family. He is the principal behind the billion-dollar empire's establishment. He began working as a clerk in A. Aiden's Bessie & Company, and with all the knowledge he has learned, the experience was only the beginning of a tremendous dream. He learned about forex trading with the assistance of others. He returned to India and began working as a dealer. Reliance Commercial Corporation was established in this manner, and commerce commenced under his name until it was eventually opened to the public in 1977. Dhirubhai Ambani has been credited as the man responsible for Reliance Industries' current success. This story proves that hard work doesn't betray. The Wertheimers. High fashion is undeniably high money, and the Wertheimer family has their toes dipped in the industry after owning one of the world's most sought-after brands, Chanel. Black is a classic color that is styled fashionably by different brands, and Chanel became the landmark of all things timeless, from black suits to black dresses to black handbags. Currently, the chairman of the brand is Alain Wertheimer. Alain, together with his brother Gerard, was ranked 43rd on Forbes' billionaires list with a net worth that stood at $62 billion high. The family had been enjoying the luxury of a wealthy life since they bought the brand out from its founder and namesake, Coco Chanel. But unlike most of the families mentioned, this family does not have a typical inspiring backstory. It is rather avoidable. The co-founder of Chanel, Pierre Wertheimer, has been alleged to have taken advantage of Coco Chanel after the designer trusted his expertise in business to take the brand to greater heights. He made a fortune out of her brilliance by taking 70% of the profit and only giving back 10% to Coco. The French designer fought a legal battle and won. However, Pierre was wiser, and when she died, he bought all her shares and inevitably made his family one of the wealthiest. The Thompsons. The Thomson family, who runs the Canadian multinational media conglomerate Thomson Reuters, has about $61 billion in net worth running in their bloodline. Reuters, the media firm, has predominantly provided the Thompson family with their fortune and high-profile last name, after acquiring the company in 2008. It all started during the 1930s when Roy Thompson founded a radio station in Ontario, Canada, and expanded its newspapers, who first had the family in the business of media and journalism. However, it was Paul Julius Reuter who became the founder and partner of the Berlin book publishing business and agency Reuter and Stargard in 1847. The agency disseminated booklets that have been deemed radical at the start of the 1848 revolutions, which may have drawn official attention to Reuter. In the same year, he traveled to Paris, and 2 years later, he then relocated to England and founded Reuters Telegram Company. At its founding, the organization was involved with news services and had headquarters in London, with inputs in brokerage businesses, servicing banks, and numerous business enterprises. The business grew gradually, and their first business partner, the London Morning Advertiser, signed on in 1858. Following then, newspapers grew in popularity among Reuters clients. Reuters to newspapers became exceptionally valuable, not just because of the groundbreaking financial news they delivered, but also in its capacity to be the first to publish articles on incidents of national interest, such as the killing of former U.S. President Abraham Lincoln hours ahead of its competitors. These wealthy families have probably started somewhere in the rags towards the riches and never looked back. With all the money they have, their next generations are already assured of great lifestyle comfort. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.